Tonight, a Transportation Safety Board report sheds more light on a death at sea. Low staffing levels, a broken life jacket. We'll have more on what led to the death of a pilot boat deckhand who went overboard outside St. John's Harbour.
Will Uber take over the market completely or simply keep cab companies in check? That story coming up on Here and Now.
It's a big weekend down here at the Mary Brown Centre for the Newfoundland Rogues. They have their final 3 games of the regular season. I'm going to tell you what that means coming up.
This is CBC Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. We begin with a tense standoff in downtown St. John's. There was a heavy police presence in the Livingstone Street area this evening as residents were told to steer clear of the neighborhood. The RNC was responding to what it called a potential weapons offense at a home there. That residence and the surrounding area was blocked off until about an hour ago. Just last Friday, police received multiple reports of gunshots in that same area of Livingstone and Carter's Hill in the morning and early afternoon. Police have since said those instances were believed to have been targeted and connected. No injuries have been reported. And police say a man was stabbed last night during a dispute at a St. John's parking lot. It happened just before 8 o'clock at the Avalon Mall. According to the RNC, one man sustained minor injuries while another was stabbed and seriously injured. That man was taken to hospital. The RNC says officers are continuing to investigate. Well, a broken life jacket and critically low staffing levels are to blame for the death of a 61-year-old man on a pilot boat in 2022. That's according to a report released by the Transportation Safety Board today. As Here and Now's Ryan Cook reports, the man's chances of survival were severely limited once he hit the water.
Terry Roberts had his bags packed and was leaving the province with his wife. He was on the last shift of a 7-day rotation when he fell overboard and died. A report by the TSB issued today sheds light on what happened.
I would describe it as hazards known that could have been mitigated, really unfortunately preventable set of circumstances.
Under the rules at the time, only 2 people were left behind when the pilot left the boat. Roberts, a deckhand, was required to be tethered at all times, but the investigation found he needed to untether to get around the wheelhouse. It's believed he fell overboard during those few seconds. The boat's master was then left alone to both steer and attempt a rescue.
You just can't do it with one person. It's practically impossible.
When Roberts hit the water, his PFD should have inflated, but the mechanism that inflates the vest was broken, and the manual pull tab was tucked inside. This led to a TSB warning last year.
Inflatable PFDs actually are really complex, and they don't actually provide any buoyancy whatsoever if they don't inflate.
The Atlantic Pilotage Authority implemented several changes following Roberts' death. They now staff an extra person on each boat. They do more man overboard exercises, and they test their PFDs in wind and waves, all in hopes of avoiding a similar disaster in the future. Ryan Cook, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, it was the largest offshore oil spill in the province's history, and it's going to cost Cenovus Energy $2.5 million. That's how much the company was fined today in a St. John's courtroom. Back in 2018, the Sea Rose FPSO released about 250,000 liters of oil at a connection on the seabed at the White Rose oil field. For comparison, that amount equates to about 1/10 the size of the Acarina Pool in St. John's. And for the second time in 4 months, a lawyer in this province has been disbarred. The Law Society of Newfoundland and Labrador has stripped Andrew Martin of his ability to practice. Martin was a partner in Morris Martin Moore in Mount Pearl. The Law Society sanctioned him for actions in 2021 and 2022 when Martin was representing a client with a personal injury. Now, Martin told her he was working on her case and that a settlement was coming, but that wasn't true. The lawyer also created a a fake email and memo under another lawyer's name. Back in January, the society barred St. John's lawyer Avril Baker, saying she was ungovernable. Well, memories and tributes to hockey broadcaster Bob Cole continue to roll in. Cole died in St. John's on Wednesday after a long career as the voice of Hockey Night in Canada, and his influence is still felt strongly by those involved in hockey in this province. Here and Now's Lucas Wall has more.
As the news of Bob Cole's death spread, young hockey players were taking to the ice at the Glacier. The Don Johnson Memorial Cup brought the best Junior B teams in Atlantic Canada to Mount Pearl. But in the press box, thoughts are on Bob Cole.
For someone who's involved, I guess, in the calling of hockey games, you know, it's the iconic moments that Bob Cole created, his amazing sayings of, oh wow, and oh baby. Bob set it up for the younger generations coming up as to what they've got to. Almost he sets the record.
Ryan says Cole was an expert at riding the emotional ups and downs of a game. It's something that he aspires to do as a play-by-play announcer.
Locally, calling it here in Newfoundland for these Junior Atlantics, it's something that you look to, how can I get to be better? You know, Bob was he was high at one point and he was back down calling the game as it's in front of him the next point. It's where you find that middle bar to be able to go high and come right back down low again.
And while Bob Cole's voice was heard across the country, his impact was felt strongly at home in Newfoundland and Labrador.
Bob was someone who was the epitome of never forget where you come from. And whether it be through rowing, whether it be through the Fieldians, whether it be through hockey here, he always had time to grow the game, grow any game.
Hillier says Cole wasn't just a legendary broadcaster, he was a family friend who was always kind, summed up in one particular gesture.
The biggest memory, I think, I was a young kid growing up, my favorite player was Matt Sundin, number 13, Toronto Maple Leafs.
Matt Sundin wins the game with 500 in this terrific career.
My father had arranged behind the scenes to get a signed, personalized photo from Matt Sundin, and Bob was able to get that. That was probably one of the coolest things ever. I didn't even know that my family could get that, and you know, it was because of Bob.
In the NHL, it's playoff season. In Mount Pearl, the Johnson Cup is on the ice all weekend, and at rinks like this and across the country, Bob Cole will echo across the ice.
Oh, baby, for sure!
Lucas Wall, CBC News, Mount Pearl.
Well, volunteer fire departments along Trinity Bay are creating a plan for this summer ahead of wildfire season. They want to prevent worst-case scenarios before they start. Here and Now's Mike Moore has that story.
They're unpredictable, dangerous, devastating to anything in their path, and firefighters here are getting ready for what could be a tense forest fire season. They've already begun out west, an early start to the season in Alberta where conditions are already extreme. And this, from last year in Nova Scotia, hundreds of homes destroyed and thousands of people forced to flee. In Newfoundland and Labrador, the last major one happened 2 years ago when a massive fire engulfed a huge area of Central, destroying cabins, putting communities on alert, and leading the Premier to declare a state of emergency over air quality. This year, Jeff Jackson and other volunteer firefighters along Trinity Bay are trying to stop the problem before it starts. They have a new strategy, preparing for a worst-case scenario and figuring out how to deal with it.
It is a drill, and at the end of it, we're going to have a post-mortem or a debrief of it and pick it apart and say, boys, you know, we could have done this better, or that was a really good point, and, you know, we can follow it from there.
Jackson was on the ground in Nova Scotia last year, helping to push back the fires raging towards residential neighborhoods. That's where he learned it was better to over-prepare.
Some of the stories I've heard up in Nova Scotia was, the fire departments were going everywhere at that particular time, and that was chaos for a little while, and then you got a handle on it.
Tomorrow, they'll be training with fire staff from Blaketown to Heart's Content and everywhere in between. It's a large, coordinated approach to getting everyone on the same page, and it took a year to piece together. Jackson says homes nestled among trees are the most at risk, and he wants people to take fire warnings seriously if and when the time comes. Mike Moore, CBC News, St. John's.
All right, well, we're going to have a look at we don't normally talk in this section of the news, but actually we're heading into the weekend and lots of people are going to be making plans. What's in store for us?
Yeah, well, today's temperatures, not overly nice, especially depending on where you were, but let's take a look at where you sat today. 6 degrees in St. John's, 1 in Corner Brook. Temperatures across Labrador, different than yesterday, about 3 degrees in Happy Valley Goose Bay. And your temperatures at the moment, not too bad, but they are going to drop like a rock as we head through the night tonight with generally clear skies. So you saw about 15 centimeters of snow, but we're going to say goodbye to that snow for a little while with those winds out of the west around through the night. Now, hopefully you enjoyed the sunshine across eastern portions of the island today. One maybe day left of that, and then we're going to say goodbye to that sunshine for a little bit thanks to the pattern. We've got westerly winds now, but as we head through the next couple of days and into next week, unfortunately, that will change. That means that we will see onshore winds, which is going to bring cooler temperatures and lots of cloud cover right along with it, and that is going to continue into next week. Now, that is good news as far as icebergs are concerned. I had a request to see where the ice is at the moment, most of it off Labrador, a little bit for the northern peninsula. But like I said, lots of icebergs to come down, which will be nice with those northerly winds. I'll get into all the forecast details coming up a little later.
The Battle of the Cabs is heating up in St. John's this week with a new player entering the scene. But who's cheaper, faster, or more fun? We took a few rides to find out. First up on our list,
Jiffy Cabs.
We ordered our ride on a Wednesday afternoon using Jiffy's pretty simple app to order our car. It came, of course, in a jiffy and only careened around a few corners. But the problem, we paid $17, which was about 40% higher than the $12.80 quoted by Uber. Next up, citywide taxi. Took a little bit longer to get to us, but got us swiftly to our destination. And we paid exactly what the app quoted us, which was $3 more than Uber's price. Now, our driver told us he wasn't too worried about Uber, but might jump ship if it starts to steal away customers. And he wasn't the only taxi cab driver with that backup plan. We popped by Memorial University to see what Tom Cooper thought of that problem.
In a number of ways, this benefits consumers very, very well. It may not benefit the taxi companies, but it depends on how willing they are to strategically collaborate with Uber. I would say that if the local taxi companies continue to provide good service, good price, good technology, all those sort of things, then there can continue to be competitive.
Tom's optimistic, but it's also possible that Uber could take over completely by undercutting cab companies and then jacking up the rates. In fact, according to this author, that's been the company's intention all along.
So it was a very heavily regulated industry, and Uber would move in and simply say those don't apply to us, and so basically they were hugely disruptive of the existing industry.
Eric says Uber doesn't have to pay drivers a minimum wage, and they offer artificially low rates to push out the competition. It's their business model, and it's working.
What Uber was doing was burning through billions of dollars of investors' money in order to try to acquire something close to a monopoly position. They would charge below-cost fares and therefore drive out the taxi industry. And then once they had achieved a certain level of market saturation, then they would start raising prices.
It's a terrifying picture that Eric Tucker paints. Luckily, the ride itself wasn't so scary. Our Uber got to us in under 3 minutes, and our driver was a bundle of fun, but said he was only driving for Uber because he needed a second job thanks to the rising cost of living. And after all said and done, he's probably only making $10 an hour. So was it cheaper? Not really. The Uber app told us the ride would cost $18.28, but it ended up costing us $21, which is exactly what the taxi apps quoted us. So will Uber coexist peacefully with cab companies or become our private transportation overlords? The experts say that as long as the rules of the game remain fair, St. John's can avoid Uber remorse.
When I'm home, I'll hold you like I'm supposed to.
Well, he was just 39 years old, and last Saturday, musician Justin Greeley passed away from colon cancer. A celebration of his life is being planned for this Sunday. Greeley was a mainstay on the downtown music scene. He was a founding member of Greeley's Reel, and most recently shared the stage with friend and fellow musician Jackie Sullivan. She says Greeley's death came as a shock, and this Sunday, nearly 24 musicians will perform at O'Reilly's in his honor and to help support his family.
For us as musicians, it's really important for us to share the music that's going to happen on Sunday. And you know, I'm just so thankful that it's still going ahead. Justin wanted that to happen. He knew that we were planning the benefit, and you know, toward the end, he made it very clear that he wanted this to be a celebration. So we are going to continue, and I will tell you that I want to pack this room, and I want to just make the rafters ring here for him because he so deserves it.
Well, now to some sports news. It's an important weekend for the Newfoundland Rogues. The team is coming up on its final 3 games of the regular season, and the stakes are high. The Rogues need to strike down the London Lightning, a team they haven't beaten all season. Jeremy Eaton is courtside tonight for the final home game at the Mary Brown Centre. So, Jeremy, walk us through the next 3 days. What needs to happen?
Well, Carolyn, pardon the pun, but the hope is that Lightning is not going to strike twice. So, in order for these players behind me of the Newfoundland Rogues to make it into the BSL playoffs, they have to win 2 out of 3 games against the London Lightning, a team they haven't beaten yet this season. Now, if they win one and then a number of other things happen, they'll make the playoffs, but they're hoping that that is not the case. Now, earlier today, I chatted with the team and the players, and here's a little bit about what they had to say about this weekend.
Oh, very important, man, because we're fighting for a playoff spot. You know, we win 2 out of the 3 games, we're automatically in. We win 1, we stand a chance, but we don't want to put ourselves in that position. You know, we want to take care of what we can take care of. A lot of teams can't control their own destiny. They need something else to happen for them to get in the playoffs. We control our own destiny. It's a good thing.
We feel the pressure a little bit. You know, comes with just the territory, obviously. But I think that everybody is very appreciating this opportunity that we have in front of us, obviously, because we get to control our own fate. So, yeah, I think it's just one of those situations that I think we're proud of. And then if you've been playing basketball your whole life, I think this is a position that you want to be put in just to obviously control your own fate.
Yeah, they can't seem like they just got out of bed this morning. You know, I had to realize that, you know, we got 3 games to play. Everything is not dire need on just 1 game tonight. So I had to let them get loose a little bit, which they did. You know, they woke up a little bit and got loose. So they understand the importance of it. We have 3 games to get to. So they understand the importance. It's not going to come in 1 quarter. It's not going to come in 3 quarters. You got to play all 3 games as hard as you can to try to get 2 of them. I think we play them well. It's just, you know, they're so experienced, so they know when it's a close game at the end, they know how to pull it out because they have a lot of experience on their team. They got a lot of guys that's won championships on their team. So for us, we just got to come out and play 48 minutes against them. We can't play 39 minutes. We can't play 47 and a half. We got to play 48 full minutes because it's a veteran team. They know how to win. That's why they've won so many championships. So they're the only team in the league we haven't beat. So, you know, that's a goal as well. So we get them, we have beaten every team in the league.
The tough schedule that we've had on the road, and just knowing the adversity that we have to overcome when we're playing on the road. So, yeah, it's very vital. Obviously, we're a really good team home. And so, yeah, like I said earlier, we're just trying to protect home court as best as possible and then, you know, do the things that we need to do. You know, we got the fans here behind us, so that's going to be a very vital piece as well.
So, obviously, I'm standing next to the tallest player on the Newfoundland Rogues. Trey, real quick, how are you feeling about an hour before game time?
Feeling good, man. Feeling energized, ready to go get this win, of course.
All right. Haven't beaten London this year. What do you need to do to come up with a W tonight?
Gotta play good defense, keep rotating, and just take good shots.
Appreciate your time. Best of luck, brother.
No problem.
Thanks so much. That's Trey. I'm Jeremy down at the Mary Brown Center, reporting live. We'll be back later on the show to chat to some fans about tonight's game.
Fingers crossed. I'm really hoping that they win it. They do deserve it. And like I told them, even if they don't win, they're winners in my eyes.
Some grade 6 students on the West Coast are in the running to win a national learning competition. After the break, we'll be heading back to class.
Well, the good news, rigid high pressure will dominate the weather picture this weekend. It is going to bring some cooler temperatures, though. We'll talk all about it when I come back.
This weather update is brought to you by the Healthcare Foundation Home Lottery. The early bird prize deadline is midnight Friday, May 10th. Order tickets now at hcfhomelottery.ca.
All right, so Ashley, here in the east, the weekend isn't looking so great, but other parts of the province are in for a decent weekend, right?
Yeah, definitely. And the reason for that is where a ridge of high pressure is going to set up. Let's take a look at the current weather picture. We've got a couple of troughs in play, and that is basically bringing some cloud cover to parts of the west coast, and then this big ridge of high pressure. So that is going to head a little bit further east. That's also what cleared skies out today across the big land. Was that ridge of, as that area of low pressure finally departed, and after about 15 to 25 centimeters of snow across a big portion of the big land. Now, we do have some colder air associated with this, still certainly seeing that, especially on the west coast. Some of that milder air will depart across the island as we head through the weekend. But definitely a very different story weather-wise than yesterday. 6 degrees colder in St. John's, 1 degree warmer in Port aux Basques, and across Labrador, much warmer than it was yesterday, anywhere from about 4 to 6 degrees for central and western portions of the Big Land. Now, temperatures have dropped a little bit. We're down to about 4 degrees in St. John's. Feels more like 0 with that wind chill, and into the minus single digits, mid-minus single digits for the west coast. And the coldest temperatures, at least wind chill wise, in Nain, feeling more like minus 14. So certainly still holding on to that wintry type temperatures. So for the most part, things have cleared out up across the Big Land. We still have lots of cloud cover, though, for central and western portions of the province. Starting to see a bit of high cloud as well across the Avalon, and a few showers showing up at the moment, likely in the way of drizzle. And that's generally going to continue for the next couple of hours for at least the eastern portion of the island. Best chance of seeing some flurries, maybe even some showers tonight, will be through central. And we may see some onshore flurry activity continue for the west coast. Up across Labrador, it's looking fairly quiet, just some cloud cover by the time we get into the morning. As far as temperatures are concerned tonight, again, going to stay quite chilly, anywhere from about -1 to -7. Coolest temperatures in low-lying areas. Generally light winds, though, tonight. And up across the Big Land, cooler for central and western portions of Labrador, except towards the coast, where you'll sit between -7 and -9 tonight. Heading into tomorrow, again, likely some lingering showers or flurries for central, maybe along the northeast coast, Bonavista North. Best chance of where we'll see some shower activity. But west coast looks fairly decent tomorrow. Same thing for southeastern portions of Labrador. We may see a bit of cloud cover, though, for those of you in the north and the west, and maybe even towards the afternoon across the Big Land. But overall, a fairly quiet day as that ridge of high pressure takes hold. And we'll likely see some showers, though, for Sunday for western portions of the Isle of Labrador. Temperatures tomorrow, again, winds out of the northeast, and you know what that means. Anywhere in onshore flow, we'll see those cooler temperatures. 3 to 5 degrees should be where we top out tomorrow. 20 to 40 kilometer per hour winds, but again, I'd say once you get past the isthmus there, you're likely going to see, slight chance of some showers or flurries, depending on when they fall and how quickly you reach your temperature. Daytime high near 5 degrees. As you head further west, though, the temperatures generally increasing 8 to 10 degrees. For those of you on the west coast, those winds out of the northwest around 10 to 15 kilometers per hour, but lots of sunshine. Similar temperatures for the northern peninsula and southeastern portions of Labrador, anywhere from about 6 to 9 degrees through the day. Again, if you're in onshore flow, though, you will see those temperatures much cooler than that. And the nicest weather, temperature-wise, will be for Happy Valley, Goose Bay, and really Lab West, anywhere from about 10 to 12 degrees as your daytime highs. We are going to see some other areas seeing some warmer temperatures as well through the weekend, but I'll get into that in the long-range forecast.
Well, let's head to the West Coast community of Meadows now, where a school field trip has taken a dramatic turn. A grade 6 class at Templeton Academy found themselves stranded on a deserted island. Now it's up to the students to build a sustainable society. That creative lesson plan is actually part of a national learning competition, and as you're about to hear, the students may very well come out on top.
At the very beginning of the program, we were told that all of the students were on an airplane that landed on an island that had never been discovered before, and they had to actually learn how to be sustainable within the island for an extended period of time. Each week we were able to watch a video, and they would give us a little task in mathematics, science, language arts, art, and career development. Once we found out that we won the regionals and that we came first place, all of the directive that they gave us was that we had to then take everything that we learned from the program and bring it to life. So I asked my students what they wanted to do, and they chose a video. We're so lucky that we have such a beautiful outdoor classroom here at Templeton, and we were able to utilize our the wooded area behind our school to make it really, give it really that feel of us being on the island and walking through the trees. And we had a little campfire. The kids were all dancing around the campfire and singing their songs. So it was beautiful bringing it to life.
I liked it because it's not just the boring sit at your desk and do your math. I didn't think that it was actually covering the subjects, but it was. I learned that you can do your math and science and all the subjects while having fun.
What I enjoyed most is in the first week was probably like drawing all of the pictures and knowing all of the information about like the monkerel, the arbocula, and the candy comb tree, and seeing what all the fun ideas that people had and just using everyone's imagination and creating it into one big picture. Working with everyone in my class was like a little challenging at times because some people wanted to do this, some people wanted to do that, but we all got it figured out at the end.
If they win the national round, first of all, we'd get bragging rights for being the first ever class to win Mission Explorium program. The first round, we won a $250 prize pack, but the second round is a $750 one, so it's $1,000 in total for the classroom. So, fingers crossed. I'm really hoping that they win it. They do deserve it, and like I told them, even if they don't win, they're winners in my eyes because they really, truly made this experience wonderful for all of us. So.
Justin's strength through all of this has been incredible.
Our friends and fellow musicians are paying tribute to Justin Greeley. More on that special show coming up. Dozens of musicians will come together this Sunday to pay tribute to one of their own. 39-year-old Justin Greeley of Upper Island Cove passed away of colon cancer last Saturday. Greeley spent much of his life on the local music scene. He was a founding member of Greeley's Reel and could often be found on stage in downtown St. John's, including at O'Reilly's Pub. And that's where a celebration of life will be held on Sunday. I spoke with owner Brenda O'Reilly and Greeley's friend and fellow musician Jackie Sullivan.
I mean, we're all devastated, but I will say to you that Justin's strength through all of this has been incredible. You know, aside from his music ability, he was just a man of great character and strength and kindness.
Excuse me if I ask too much, and bit my tongue for long enough.
You know, for anybody who doesn't know his music, for me, Justin has the most gorgeous voice. Once I heard him, I just knew that I wanted to play with him. And I invited him to a couple of shows, and we did a couple of shows in Calvert. And we went on then to do some shows here at O'Reilly's and just made an instant connection and had a chemistry musically.
And this is the last place that you performed together here at O'Reilly's.
Yeah. It was February the 8th, and we did a show here like, 7 to 10, I think, and it was great. I really adored playing with him because he was so good, and I even felt like I was listening lots of times when I was performing with him.
And we'll all go together to a quiet mountain time.
I was on stage with him, and I was playing along, but I was in awe of his voice, and I was just thinking, like, how did I get here to play with him? Because he was so good, and I don't think he had any idea how good he was.
Done it, I will ride.
During COVID, actually, beginning of COVID, my birthday was early April, and he called me up that day. We were all locked down, locked in, and he called me up and sang me a song for my birthday, right? So that's the kind of guy he was.
She walks through the corn leading down to the river.
How long have you known him?
20 years. Yeah, for sure. I mean, when he started Greeley's Reel, they actually helped me out of a bind one weekend. I didn't have a band. A band had canceled me last minute for whatever reason, and I was stuck. And someone said, "Did you ever hear this band, Greeley's Reel?" And I ended up getting their number, and I called up, and they bailed me out, and they played here ever since. And they actually retired from playing a couple of years ago. But Justin didn't. He started doing solo acts and duos and trios and joined other bands. And he used to be in another band called Jack Easy. And yeah, so he's been playing here regularly for 20 years. I mean, he's a young fella. He looked like he had everything, the world in the palm of his hand, and he was having some health issues and turned out to be colon cancer. Really surprising. It's almost not believable.
Yeah, just 39 years old.
Yeah, 39, too young.
And this event that's coming up on Sunday, that was initially a fundraiser, right?
It still is a fundraiser. Of course, the bills have been piling up, and his family needs some support, of course, and so, but Justin wanted it to be a celebration of life.
Well, I meant to call you just before I left to go away.
So Sunday, we're doing a fundraiser, a celebration of life for our friend Justin Greeley and his family, and we've got a great lineup. What a lineup of musicians, it's amazing.
When it's the proper time of day, but we never get together anyhow.
For us as musicians, it's really important for us to share the music that's going to happen on Sunday. And, I'm just so thankful that it's still going ahead. Justin wanted that to happen. He knew that we were planning the benefit, and, toward the end, he made it very clear that he wanted this to be a celebration. So we are going to continue, and I will tell you that I want to pack this room, and I want to just make the rafters ring here for him because he so deserves it.
I said, come on, now with me.
Well, the Harmony from the Heart celebration of life will be an all-day event starting 11:30 in the morning and running until around 9 p.m. at O'Reilly's Pub. Nearly 24 musicians are slated to take the stage to pay tribute to the life of Justin Greeley.
Well, Sister Betty has just emerged from the locker room, so the pregame prayer is done, meaning the Rogues are about to take the floor here behind us very soon. We're going to chat to a couple of fans coming up after the break. Welcome back to Here and Now. Now we're about 9 minutes and 51 seconds away from tip-off here down at Mile 1 Stadium. Hang on, Ted. Water bottle fell. Safety first. Didn't want you to trip. Anyways, oh, the players are coming out here now. Come on, fellas. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Oh, my God. It's all over the place. There you go, sir. So as you can see, the Newfoundland Growlers are coming out here. We're joined by a couple of fans. Just introduce yourself real quick.
I'm Sean Hunt.
And who are you?
I'm Charles Hunt.
So, have you been to many Edge games?
Yeah, I've been to a few.
Do you have a favorite player out here?
Armani Chaney and Lewis, and I forget his last name.
Louis Jonka. What's up, buddy? Say hi. Say hi to your...
Hey, what up, no?
So as you can see, the players are just coming out of the tunnel here. Alex, what What's it like? Why do you come down to Mary Brown Centre to watch the Rogues games?
In terms of talent and product, it's phenomenal basketball. We've gone to Toronto, seen Raptors games. Coming here, seeing the Rogues, the caliber of ball is just phenomenal. Probably the biggest reason, though, is the community outreach that we see. They've come to his school several times. They had his basketball team come here to practice. It's just what they do in the community and the individuals. They're just great people.
So these fellas came to your school. What was that experience like for you, Charles?
It was a really fun experience, I'd say. It was really hard for some players, but for me it wasn't as hard. I worked really hard and it was a really fun practice.
How cool is it for you to be able to just be in not too far from where you live, to be able to come down and see basketball like you're seeing here tonight?
It's amazing. I love basketball. I actually play a lot of basketball. And yeah, there's just something about basketball that's really good.
Now the London Lightning, they're a tough opponent. If you followed the Edge when they were here in the NBL Canada, they were tough then too. How excited are you to see the high caliber that you're going to see tonight? Because this could be the toughest weekend that the team has had. What does that mean for a fan like yourself?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't miss it this weekend. I've seen basketball teams in the city in the past in different leagues. This team, skill-wise, would be head and shoulders above every other team we've ever had in the city. So can't miss it. This is the last weekend for basketball here in the city. So,
Sean, I appreciate your time. Charles, thank you so much for your time. As I said, this is the last weekend. 3 games left, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Last 3 games of the regular season. And depending if they win 2, they're automatically in the playoffs. If they win 1, then there's a lot that has to happen for them to get in. We won't get into that. Let's just hope that they win 2 out of the 3 games. Tip-off time is about 7 minutes and 13 seconds away. Reporting live for Here and Now, I'm Jeremy Eaton at the Mary Brown Centre.
Well, to Halifax now, where 2 14-year-olds charged with killing another teen made their first court appearance today. 16-year-old Ahmed Mahar Al-Marak was stabbed in a parking lot of a Halifax mall on Monday. As Blair Rhodes reports, the Crown is seeking adult penalties for both the boy and girl accused.
There was a heavy police presence at the courthouse, but the appearances were quick and quiet. The 2 agreed to remain in custody at the youth jail in Waterville until their next court appearance in 2 weeks' time.
I have given notice on behalf of the Crown of an intention to seek an adult penalty should they be convicted down the line. We're at very early stages of the process right now.
Terry Nickerson says a lot of decisions have yet to be made in this process.
That notice that I gave triggers an election or a choice on behalf of the young people. They're the ones who would choose whether they want a judge alone or judge and jury. That has yet to be determined, and as I said, we're leagues from those decisions. That's between them and their lawyers.
Nickerson requested and was granted a court order that prevents the 2 accused from communicating with each other or potential witnesses. Ahmed Mahar Al-Marak was stabbed in a parkade at the Halifax shopping centre early Monday evening. He died later in hospital. He was buried following a ceremony at a Halifax mosque on Wednesday, the same day the 2 suspects were arrested. Blair Rhodes, CBC News, Halifax.
Well, the young orca whale trapped for more than a month in a BC lagoon is finally free. Quisaheus, or Little Hunter, had been bottlenecked by a sandbar. The local First Nations leading the rescues say the orca swam over it on her own this morning at high tide. She still has to reach the open ocean, though. The calf had been trapped in the lagoon for a month when her pregnant mother was beached and died at low tide. The team is now encouraging her out towards the ocean, where it's hoped she'll be able to reconnect with her family pod. Well, it's Friday, so let's find out who's celebrating. Happy 54th anniversary to Patsy and Glenn Keynes in Pasadena. Anniversary greetings going out to Headley and Gloria Guy of Musgrave Harbor, who are celebrating their 51st anniversary. 60th anniversary greetings going out to Charlie and Phyllis Walsh of Fermuse. Happy anniversary to Erwin and Dorcas Genge. They're celebrating their 59th anniversary. Happy 66th anniversary to Earl and Jeanette Feltham of Glovertown. Wishing Bob and Dorothy Yetman of Clarenville a happy 63rd anniversary. 66th anniversary greetings going out to Cyril and Clara Troke of Paradise. Best wishes to John and Gladys Normore on their 60th anniversary. They're from Belle Island, but now live in Toronto. Wishing Eric and Millie Badcock a happy anniversary. It's their 50th. Congratulations to Cyril and Elsie Boone of Conception Bay South, who are marking 60 years of marriage. Anniversary greetings going out to Aloysius and Josephine Keynes of Bird Cove. They've been together 67 years, and we're told they watch Here and Now every night, so thank you for that. Happy 56th anniversary today to Lou and Mary Noseworthy of Mount Pearl. Best wishes to Bruce and Joan Driscoll of Old Perlican on their 60th anniversary. Congratulations to Jim and Virginia Derrigan of Gillams, who are celebrating their 60th anniversary. Happy 59th anniversary tomorrow for Ern and Genevera Stickley of Happy Valley Goose Bay. Happy 53rd anniversary to Roland and Beatrice Menchinton of St. Albert, Alberta. They're celebrating with family in Newfoundland this weekend. Happy 63rd anniversary to Jenny and Rex Piercy from Heart's Content, now living in CBS. Happy anniversary to Lee and Agnes Pittman of Cartwright. They're celebrating 60 years together. Congratulations on 53 years of marriage for Bill and Sandra Ivany of Buckins, now living in Valcarin, Ontario. Now to some birthdays. Happy 90th birthday to Cedric Saunders of Point Leamington, now living in Springdale. Birthday greetings going out to Leo Slaney from St. Lawrence, who turns 90 today. Wishing Elizabeth Croft a happy 97th birthday today. She's from Aquafort and now lives in Paradise. Happy 90th birthday to Andrew Oliver of Gull Island, now in Carbonear. Best wishes to Jean Party, who's celebrating her 94th birthday. She's from Perry's Cove, and Jean has been living in the same house in St. John's for almost 70 years. Happy birthday to Mabel Mayo from Burin Bay, who's celebrating her 93rd birthday. Happy 91st birthday tomorrow to Albert Knoll of Carbonear. Daphne Bishop celebrates her 90th birthday tomorrow. She's from Botwood and now lives in Carbonear. Wishing Victor Williams from Bay Bulls a happy 94th birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday to Rose Stacy from St. John's. She's turning 90. It's a 91st birthday this Sunday for Granville Layden of Corner Brook. Cliff McKay of Stephenville Crossing is celebrating his 94th birthday tomorrow. Happy 96th birthday today to Doris West of Gander. Wishing May Vincent of Newtown, Bonavista Bay a happy 99th birthday, and birthday greetings going out to Joseph Masters, who celebrated his 101st birthday this past Monday in Marystown. Oh, another fine crowd. Congratulations once again. And Ashley, speaking of milestones, we'd like to wish our CBC radio colleague, Nancy Walsh, all the very best in her retirement. This is Nancy's last day at CBC after nearly 40 years in news.
Yeah, very impressive. Nancy is often the voice of the newscast on CBC Radio, and all the best, Nancy. We will miss you.
Yeah, we certainly will. Big loss for us here at CBC. Yeah,
definitely.
Okay, so will Nancy have a bit of nice weather as she leaves us and heads off into the sunset?
Yeah, well, not here, unfortunately. No. We are going to see some cooler temperatures. But let's take a look right at the forecast as we head through the evening on Saturday and then into Sunday. We've got a little bit of an area of low pressure that is going to just head east to the east of the Avalon. That's going to bring some cloud cover and eventually some rain on Sunday morning. And that onshore flow will bring those cooler temperatures. Now, basically just eastern Newfoundland's going to see those cooler temperatures. Across Labrador, you will see the rain move in later in the afternoon on Sunday. And then we do have the northern portion of Labrador seeing some showers or flurries through the day as well. The rain will head a little bit towards central as we head through the evening, and then eventually towards the west coast, but it's going to take a little bit of time. Before that, it's still going to be a beautiful day, 10 to 14 degrees on the west coast. Very different story for the Avalon and the south coast, where barely single digits. And then same thing for central and southeastern portions of Labrador, except in onshore flow again. You're going to see those temperatures in the teens. Dropping by Monday, definitely up across Labrador as well, down to the single digits. And then the long-range forecast showing, unfortunately, some rain and much cooler temperatures as we head into next week, and this trend will continue. We're going to see central Newfoundland as well as the West Sea showers, maybe a tad warmer though as you get towards the west coast. For eastern Labrador, you're looking at flurries or light snow by Tuesday, and then return of some showers on Wednesday, and same thing for western Labrador. Now, our weather photo of the day, the sun trying to peek out, which will be the theme over the next week or so across the island, but this one for sure in CBS. Thanks to Dave for that lovely shot. We love to see your weather photos. If you have any from the weekend that you would love to share, you can do that by sending them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Gorgeous. Thank you so much, Dave, for that shot. And before we leave you tonight, singer-songwriter Kelly Loader has just dropped a new album called Transitions, and Loader swung by the On The Go studio yesterday to share some of it. So we're going to leave you with that tonight. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great weekend.
Good night.
She'll run a red if you let her, and she'll stop at the green. She'll almost kill you on impact and run away from the scene. She needs a slow restoration, but you still got the keys. So take it from me. Take it from me, 'cause I've been down that road, I've driven that wreck with the baggage in tow, and there ain't no highway that's gonna bring you back home. So start walking